this is a little more formal here, informal this here. And so please feel free. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to express or say, feel free to say so. Any questions? Or just simply abide in the awareness. Yes, sir.
So we always feel angry because we are fearing we might lose something.
We feel angry because our mind has been conditioned to the thoughts and attitudes of likes and dislikes, sort of like a computer is programmed. And so someone says something or does something that triggers off our pattern of like and dislike. We don't recognize that it's all going on in us. It's never going on outside. It appears to be going on outside. Whenever you're feeling an anger or an upset or even a joy, look and see for yourself. Get in touch with where are you feeling it. Can you feel anger outside yourself? Look and see. Can you?
It's always inside, of course.
Yes, it's always inside. And it's kind of interesting that we never notice that. We never really consider that the anger is my anger. This anger is happening to me. We say that so-and-so made me angry, but no, so-and-so didn't make us angry. We made us angry. It came forth from us. Someone else in the same situation, present in the same situation, that we would call an angering situation. Let's say you are present with several other people, and one person says something, and you get angry about what they say, just as an example. And 4 or 5 others are there, they laugh. They don't think it's angry, they're not upset at all, but you are. Well, if the event itself was the actual cause of anger, why wouldn't the other 4 or 5 be angry too? See, it's only you that would be the one, or whoever is the one that gets angry, is the one that gets angry. So where did the anger come from? Not from the event. It came from within us, because it triggered off a pattern of dislike of some sort in us based upon our own past programming.
Where from the fear? How the fear implied in all
Same
that?
thing. Exactly. The principle is exactly the same, regardless of the emotion or the thought itself.
How do you track the feeling of might losing something?
I'm sorry?
How do you dissolve the fear of losing something?
Well, who is it that who has the fear? It has to be a me that has the fear, right?
Normally in the present situation there is always big tensions around these emotions. How do you dissolve them? You cannot just intellectually approach who am I?
We're not talking about intellectually now. We're talking about experientially. It's a difference.
Your emotions are pushing you towards to expression. In that moment, how do you do?
Well, you're saying it for yourself. It's your emotions that are expressing you towards a particular course of action or thoughts or feelings, right?
You mean all the time there is possibility of controlling them and in the way?
Not even being at the effect of them at all. See, to not be at the effect of them at all.
how do you dissolve this being effect, actually?
Well, as I said, who is
Effect.
at the effect? Who's affected? What would your answer be? What's the only answer you could have?
Of course, me, but
Okay, no buts about it. It's,
what about those approach that when you see it, get dissolved?
I'm sorry?
What about those approach when you see it, it dissolves? Actually, when you become conscious of something, then it gets dissolved by itself.
Well, if in the moment of your seeing something and you dissolve it in the moment, then you've disengaged from your identification with it in the moment.
So that's actually it's automatically.
Yes. Well, it's always automatic, even when you disengage from it. And you're capable of disengaging from any emotion, thought, or attitude if you're willing to, if you wish to and are willing to.
So our attachment to our body actually it doesn't have to have nothing to do with the situation. And I'm talking about fear of death. Fear of death. So it's the last point, no? So at some point we are always fearful about losing our body. And everybody wants to live. Everybody wants to, I don't know, experience this attachment. And so my question here is the trust in let it go actually? So there is fear is actually attachment, and let it go is this, how do you say it, disillusionment of all the things.
Well, the fear is identification with your body as being you. And if you lose that which you're identified with as being you, then you're going to have fear. So if you're identified with your body as being you, and then your body is threatened, or its very life is threatened, then you're going to have fear. But is the body you?
In a moment you could say there is not, because nothing exists. But the next moment, it's again here.
Well, that's the thought again, see? It still brings you back into the thought. And thought is a product of mind. See, the body itself is fashioned, you might say, formed, sustained, and maintained by mind, by your mind.
What then is pushing us in duality? What
The
is
mind.
then?
The mind.
So desires, they say the mind is desire.
Yes, that's mind again, all mind. Fear and desire are just the opposite directions of an impulse.
So we've been driving around like crazy, just moving, and what is the best way we can do? Being dragged around and seeing that.
Well, first it has to do with seeing it.
All right.
Once you begin to see it and recognize it, see? Once you're seeing it and recognizing, now withdraw from it. Disengage.
How in the action of the world, how you withdraw?
The way you withdraw is just as we're now discussing. To who's drawn into a situation, see? Who's compelled? Who's driven, see? Who's required, impelled into a situation, see? Who's made to act a particular way?
Doesn't that mean you have to stop in the particular situation and ask yourself?
Yes. Yes. Right in the moment.
What about when there is, sometimes we cannot do that because the situation involving too much of us. I don't know.
Well, again, that too is just another concept. If you see it as a concept, and that's all it really is, you can reduce it down to a concept, just to a thought.
All right. So nothing is big, so big that it cannot be reduced.
Exactly. It could not even be there without the thought of it. Big is only a concept of big, it's just the thought big.